It's me, in Y3, number one. Alright, so welcome to the first part of our Wombo Combo videos. Now this part, we're not going to jump straight into our Yang Zephyr Wombo Combos. What I feel is important at this point is to explain the concept of combo decks. What exactly differentiates combo decks from control and aggro decks? And to do that, we are going to go to pen and paper. And I'm going to draw a graph which hopefully clears things up and not make things more confusing. Alright, so with my unbranded pen, draw the axes. On our y-axis we have power. And on our x-axis we have resources. So, first of all, I'm going to designate aggro decks as the control. And aggro decks are going to be red. So, as the control, they're going to have a linear relationship between resources and power. The more resources they have, the more power they get, the more things they can do per turn, with the more cards they have in their hands or on their fields or wherever. So that's our aggro decks. They usually have the highest power ceiling. They usually can do the most things if they have the most resources. But at one point, they stop, and that's the point where they're restricted by something such as the restrictions placed on the deck. For example, Dragon Rulers are an aggro deck. The point of restriction is going to be the point where they've used the effects of all 8 Dragon Rulers. So, Tempest Tidal, Redox, Blaster, Lightning Reactant, Droplets, Sparky. So they used all 8, and they're probably not going to do much more on that turn. Blue, I'm going to show you the differences between an aggro deck and a control deck. So a control deck is going to be in blue. It's obviously not as powerful. It thrives in a different kind of game state than aggro decks. Their monsters are usually going to be +1 or +2s, irregardless of anything else. So such monsters like Yamato, monsters like Deneb Altair, Tinky Bear, could be things like Thunder King. And since they don't have any combos, they can't usually go beyond that, one monster. Summon Myrmelio, that's your normal summon for the turn. If you have a second Myrmelio or third Myrmelio in your hand, you are not going to be able to use it, and that's just all you can do that turn. So they tend to run a lot of 1-for-1 spell and traps that would want to simplify the game state to where they can use their +1 or +2 normal summons to the greatest advantage. So here you have the simplified game states where the blue line is higher than the red line, and that's when both players only have like 1 or 2 cards in their hand. When we get a bit complicated, when both players have, say, 6 cards, there's no way the blue line is going to be more powerful than the red line. So what the blue control decks have to do in this situation is, 1-for-1 some cards and bring it back to where they are best at. And now here comes our deck, the combo deck. I'm going to represent it with a green line. Alright, so our combo deck is going to be sigmoidal in shape. Or that's at least how I visualize it. Combo decks are unique in that they each have a range of card advantage where they operate the best in. So for example, if we take, say, Wind-Ups is a model combo deck. Now, when we're down here and they only have one card in hand, for example, one Wind-Up Shark in hand. So this is resources 1. Wind-Up Shark, 1500 vanilla. Great. An aggro deck would probably have something slightly better, but not that much better, like Dragon Ruler of Pebbles, 1800 attack. Great, slightly better. And a control deck is going to have, a Card-Cardi or a Traptrix Myrmidon, something like that. The control decks are going to have the best one card, typically. Whereas the combo decks are going to have the worst one card possible. Now, once we add a second card, so in Wind-Up's example, Magician Shark, now those two cards are going to generate something like a +5. Don't quote me on that, but Magician Shark, it's a pretty good combo. So that's when we reach our power spike for the combo deck. This super upward spike. So 2 cards for a combo deck such as Wind Up is going to bring it to this region. Whereas 2 cards for a control deck is not going to mean that much more. So say if you have 2 Traptrix Myrmidons compared to Magician Shark, we're getting there. Once we reach 3 cards, this could be Magician Shark Factory. So you're going to be able to do a lot with those 3 cards. Whereas, the control deck has already plateaued. They're not going to get that much stronger by having more cards. So, they could have a Myrmidon in hand, they could have Fire Hand in hand, and they could have a Thunder King in hand. Those 3 cards, great, but you can only normal summon one of them per turn. And meanwhile, our control, which is our aggro deck, they might have some pretty good things going on. Like, they could have a big ruler and 2 baby rulers in hand with 3 cards, and they can do quite a bit as well. Obviously not as much as Magician Shark Factory, but definitely more than, Thunder King, Myrmidon, Fire Hand. Right. Some good examples of other combo decks, Mermails, with just 1 Abyss Pike in hand, great. That's a level 4 1600 vanilla monster. With an Abyss Pike and a Marksman, okay, you're, getting much better. It's not a 1600 vanilla. It's a pop a face down and search 1 level 3 guy. Cool. You get to 3 cards, so you have your Abyss Teus and your Abyss Pike and your Abyss Turge or whatever. You could summon your Pike, search your gun, ditch your gun, summon your Teus, search something, gun summons whatever you discarded with Pike, rank 4 could be Bahamut Shark. That's a great combo. And you can kind of see how combo decks have this region where they just completely go up in power. Like where the difference between one card can be, the difference between a +1 and a +5. Madolches, one card, Angeli, great, +2. Two cards, Cat Angeli, okay, you're going to +3, while Tiara Misuing two cards from your opponent's field back to their deck. Three cards, Cat Angeli, Instant Fusion, cool. You're probably going to summon double Tiara Misu, spin their whole field, and OTK them with those three cards. So that is what combo decks are. And you have to identify what region your deck plays best in. For Yang Zing Zephyr, 3 cards mean a standard GL2 combo. That will probably end in double Baxia spin 4 if you're not going first. Which is alright, For Yang Zing Zephyr, 3 cards is probably in this area here. Once you get to, the 4th and 5th card, that is where the deck operates best in. That is going to be the Wombo combo we are going to go into. Once you go above 5 cards, so 6, 7, 8 cards, you can't really utilize the additional cards, the additional combo pieces. So that's where they start being not as good as aggro decks. So as you can see, control decks best in simplified game states, aggro decks best in really complex game states, and combo decks, depending on what deck and what sort of combos you're trying to pull off, it's going to have its best performance somewhere. For Yang Zings, that's when you have 4 or 5 cards to play with. And that is why I tend to avoid running staples. So we're talking MSTs, we're talking breakthrough skills. I tend to avoid those because they are not combo pieces, and you only start the game with 5 cards. That means if you want to use 4 or 5 cards to combo, you shouldn't have any staples in your hand. If you do, your combo is probably not going to happen on that turn 1. Of course, staples do help when you've gone beyond 5 cards. So when you're on your 6th card and onwards, that's when you start wanting staples. You start wanting those MSTs to kill their back row. You start wanting breakthrough skills to protect your board, because additional combo pieces is not going to be adding anything that turn. It'll probably do something the following turn, but not on that turn. And you kind of want to simplify the game down against these red aggro decks back to where you are most comfortable in. While, control decks want to drag everyone down back to, top decking, because their top decks are the best. Draw, summon, +1. But yeah, that's just identifying what complexity of game state your deck operates best in, and build your deck focused on gearing it towards that complexity. So, thank you for watching. I hope it didn't make things even more complicated than it should be. And I'll see you in the first Wombo Combo video.